Light, light of sun in the sky sends the message, be fearless and pray.
These are no normal times, my friend. I could see the storm clouds gathering. Try to close your eyes to the ignorance and lies, but it still feels like a heavy load. Greed and fear are the seeds that appear to have taken root through our garden right here. These sights and sounds were dragging me down, so I went out upon the road. I went across the ocean out to Thailand and Cambodia, up Kathmandu, Sri Lanka, through Tibet and down to India. And up on a hill in Rishikesh, I came across a holy man with shining eyes and lips, a smiling grin, and this is what he said: nothing so tall we can't climb over. There's nothing so wide we cannot cross. No. The time has come to raise your voices. The light burns bright as when all hope seems lost. Be fearless and play. Be fearless and play now. Even though we never seem to have it all together, still I know when it's all together we could have it all, yeah. Be fearless and play, yeah. Be fearless and play, my friends. You can live for tomorrow and still live here in today.
Be fearless and pray. Be fearless and pray.
I would play when I was a child, I swore that I would never forget, no. When I would play when I was a child, I swore that I would never forget, no. I will never forget, no. I will never forget, no. Say I will never forget, no. I will never forget, no. I went across the ocean out to Thailand and Cambodia, up Kathmandu, Sri Lanka, through Tibet and down to India. And up on a hill in Rishikesh, I came across a holy man with shining eyes and lips, a smiling grin, and this is what he said: nothing so tall we can't climb over. There's nothing so wide we cannot cross. No. The time has come to raise your voices. The light burns brightest when our hope seems lost in the dream. Wake your memory you had as a child. Go wild, let me hear you scream. Be fearless and play. Be fearless and play now. Even though we never seem to have it all together, still I know when it's all together we could have it all, yeah. Be fearless and play, yeah. Be fearless and play, my friends. You can live for tomorrow and still live here in today. Be fearless and play. Be fearless and play. This is one thing no one
Okay. Oh, I might have to close my blinds here a little bit. Alrighty. So, hi, hello. Welcome to today's stream. Should get a good hour and a half to 2 hours of drawing in. Today we'll be working on my series of baby Illyrian animals. So I guess I can get rid of this. I've already drawn the Dryas elk, the Trison, and the Ursiphant. So today I'm going to do the Canis rabbit. And I need my glove. Where did I put it? Aha. So that'll be the task for today. I just have to get myself fully ready. So I'll grab my pencil drawing here, copy that, and what? Oh, I don't want to duplicate it. open up a new. Let's do landscape. Oh, and that's such a tiny drawing, but we'll blow it up and see if it's usable. Lots of times when I draw something this tiny, a little thumbnail, I end up having to redraw it when I blow it up because little inconsistencies become big inconsistencies when you magnify them, but we'll see. Actually, it doesn't look so bad. Oh, and where do I want this guy to lie, just from a composition standpoint? Sorry, I'm just trying to imagine out the rule of thirds box. This is actually kind of a tough picture to fit in that setup. I think that does it. Close as I can. Alright, so yeah, we've got our little playful Canis rabbit pup. Let's turn those pencils a lovely shade of brownish something, just so they aren't quite so bright. So I'll start with another pencil layer since this is just really a thumbnail to make sure I know exactly what it is that I'm trying to draw here and that all the anatomy does line up. Sorry, I'm trying to... deal with too many things at once. So I think the first thing I want to do is just really make sure I know where the spine is, since I feel like a lot of the figure is going to hinge off of that, pun intended. So actually the spine goes, oops, from the tail over the hips, back up and over the shoulders, and into the neck. And I think actually this might be pretty straight in this pose. Because he's stretched outward. So that's gonna straighten the curve of the spine. Not completely, but enough. And then that'll go into the skull there. So, rib cage. Oh, I should probably... Here, so I'll share the link to the Canis Rabbit wiki entry for Chronicles of Illyria. And by the way, if you're watching this and don't know what Chronicles of Illyria is, check out this game, because it's going to be awesome.
Bunch of weirdos let all the animals out of the zoo.
Oh wow, I just saw all of your chat, Fudge. It was not showing on my screen until I entered something. Gosh, I love Twitch. So a male rabbit is called a buck, a female is a doe, and a baby rabbit is called a kit. Interesting. Okay, anyways, so we've got the link there for that image, and then so if you look, there's a couple of, pretty good views of the intended models, the basic models of the Canis Rabbit. So, nice long rib cage. We'll do something like that. And we're slightly above the perspective, so we should actually see some of that back there too. They have really small heads compared to the rest of their bodies. Small little bunny heads. And then so the hips are going to be about here-ish. With those big, powerful, rabbity legs. I may have made that tail a little long. Looks like they don't have much of a tail. So it looks like most of my ideas about where things should lie are supported by the original sketch, so that's good. I'll go ahead and draw this back leg here just so I can figure out. Looks like that foot should lie right about there, which isn't quite going to be visible, but it also doesn't, it's not too distracting of a tangent unless it looks like a dick. Does that look like a dick? It should look like a foot. Maybe we put a toe on it. I don't know if that helps. Oh, goodness. We'll leave it there for now. We'll decide when more detail comes out. Oh, where'd my concept art go? So we've got. Yeah, they do look rather anemic. But I think, you know, I mean, what's scary? A wolf or a hungry wolf? Scarier, I guess I should say. Okay, so now they've got, unlike dogs, and I drew this looking at a dog as a model, so I'm gonna have to change how this is configured, because their shoulders are really low. Instead of up here across the back of the rib cage, they've actually got like this. That's the shoulder point, like a rabbit. So then this joint goes into the shorter upper arm and then into the long foreleg and paw. That's so weird. And so that means there's like a clavicle here. A shoulder blade here, really?
I saw a tree grow out of a solid rock. I followed the root back down and found how it had begun.
That's cute, Fudge. That's real cute.
Somewhere a seed
um,
had a secret cracking now. The branches reached up proudly for the
Man, there's a lot of fun in imagining the skeleton of imaginary creatures, but it's kind of frustrating too. Okay, so there must be, because like I've mentioned in past streams, you gotta be aware of the bony landmarks of the body, the place where bone rises to the surface of the skin. And then you stretch your skin in between those points. And then when you, and that helps the underlying structure make sense to the viewer. Because ultimately you're just doing a series of symbols that remind the viewer of a rabbit or a dog or whatever you're drawing. And the symbolism, the language of symbolism is not the same from everyone's frame of reference. But there are, so the closer you are to reality, even if it's fantastical, the more likely the brain is to say, yeah, that works. That's internally consistent with all the logic. That is weird looking. Okay, so there's going to be a bulge here and not much going on here because like the fat of the skin should obscure everything up until the joint. So if you do that on the other side, there's the other shoulder. Here's another thing. These things have eyes in the front of their head, pointing forward like predators should. And of course, rabbits are obviously not predators. Although I know some gardeners who would disagree. Yeah, I'm looking at the 3D model for most of my reference here. It actually does help to have a very skinny model. And then we're just gonna put little bunny ears. Not full on. Big ears. Oh, I didn't want to point the head down like that because I wanted to be able to see the mouth. They have, so if you look at the 3D model, they have the same buck teeth as a rabbit, but they're pointed, which is just unsettling. So let's erase this head, as much as I really like how that head turned out. There we go. My music keeps stopping. I know it's not stopping for you. I'm listening on a different channel. I just wish it would stop it. Okay. So let's do it this way. See, and I keep drawing this standard shape from my rabbit skull, and it has to change because there has to be something of a snout. And it looks like their solution was to elongate. So there's still a little bit of curve to the head, but then the snout is elongated. I still need to try to somehow make this look like a puppy in the process too. Or a kit, or whatever. So, like, that's the question about their overall body posture, too. Because, like, it seems like they're now more configured for running. But, like, because of the longer dog-like torso. But then their legs are configured for jumping. So what is their like normal getting around, hopping around speed gonna look like? Is it gonna be a lope where it's just, back legs, forelegs, back legs, forelegs, back legs, forelegs, short little mini long distance hops, or like low to the ground but with great distance? I don't know. I can't wait to see these things animated. Okay. So it looks like, so another one of my initial assumptions as to the shape of the body is in that shape, in the shape of the spine. I have to change some things around here. Because once again, that spine is configured to deliver energy to the back legs. So that extreme arch at the tail needs to come out. So that's the shoulder. Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. I fully expect to have to run for your life, even if mounted, from a pack of Canis rabbits. So I wonder if they'll hunt like dogs and wolves, or if they'll just, if they'll do like either pack tactics or ambush predator tactics. I guess it looks like from the looks of the concept art, especially the one where they're tearing apart a Tricyn, and I guess I want to assume that's a young Tricyn. I don't really know. I don't have the scale up for how big Canis rabbits are in relation to Tricyn, but well, either way, yeah, they're definitely taking down critters that are bigger than them. All right. Oh, there's even a little image of the rigging in here. That actually helps me too. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so it is just a buffalo. I didn't even notice it didn't have the third horn. Yeah, I've seen some big buffalo. Or bison. Well, anyways, I'm feeling better about my figure here. I've adjusted the head so that it's a little more interesting to look at, and I think I've modified the original puppy pose into something that's more possible for the anatomy of a Canis rabbit. Let's go ahead and get rid of this sketch just to kind of get a look at things and see how they are, and also clean up. I got a lot of messy lines and bits and scraps here. It's not so important at this stage to be perfectly clean, but I don't want there to be any ambiguity as to what my intent was. So stripes. We'll get stripes later. Okay, so now I'm gonna be. Oh. Let me make those a little bit bigger. That head still kind of looks ugly. I'm gonna have to do something about that. It's almost like a pit bull meets a rabbit. Which I suppose is appropriate, but it's creepy.
Revolution without dancing is a revolution not worth having.
That's a little higher. I'm looking at this other model here.
Every tribe, only a few would wonder what's beyond that hill. We will go, you were still, you know. And you'll find in every shape and every kind the reasons why now's just not the time to go. I say go, go, and let your sails unfurl. I say go, talk to strangers and see this beautiful world.
Alright, let's pop a new layer above it, and we'll go ahead and start with an ink layer and just see how we do. I think I have enough here to be confident. It's an interesting perspective, actually. So maybe they're exhaustion hunters. Oh man. So if that's the case, then they will chase you until they catch you. That's rough. It makes sense though. It doesn't look like they have a lot of power in them, so they wouldn't be like, you know, using their mass and momentum to, you know, drag something down, like you say, clamping on the underside of the neck. I mean, dogs, isn't it typical for dogs to hunt by trying to get on top of something? But they usually try to bring it to the ground, and they've got... I don't know. I have to watch some nature documentaries. I agree, though. They're going to be a nightmare. I do not... It's like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it'd be so fun to be the Kipik. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to be hunted by wild animals all your life. Yeah, I don't think they have a lot of mass. Rough. Okay. Ink. So...
One day, something fell from the sky. Dean had never seen anything like this in his life. He wondered why the gods had sent this thing down to the earth. It was the strangest, most beautiful thing they had ever seen, and they wondered why the gods had sent it. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
So I'm just trying to make sure that the separation between the leg and the spine is understood here, but I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to be an extreme or a protracted thing, since the hip isn't actually fully visible here. Or not the hip, but the joint at the hip where the leg flap. I need to brush up on my anatomy vocabulary.
The thing does not belong on the earth. Tomorrow I will take it to the end of the earth and throw it off.
Why not make a change in your life? It's not that hard to become who you are, Why not make a change in your life? It's not that hard to become who you are, He was afraid of his shadow, run from his shadow, shake and roll and rattle, always pick the wrong battles, never won, never was wrong. He should slow down. So he ran till he can't stand there. Need a plan, look down upon the ground, but there it was. His shadow was there, so he ran till he died. Silly
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what people do with the various challenges associated with hostile wildlife. Especially for people who want to dominate them. think that eye won't actually be visible. Nope, too much. And then this eye needs to get smaller. Right at you like, you better play with me or I'll eat your face. It's not cute. Oh goodness. That's better. The problem is like, okay, so when you're drawing an eye, for human eyes, you almost never see the entire iris. So, like, the fact that animal eyes are almost all iris and you never see the sclera, it's throwing the pupil in there just makes it look like he's crazy. This dog is going to hurt you. I mean, that looks a little more friendly, but less realistic. We'll go with it for now, and we'll see what we can do. Let's do actual rabbit ears. I don't often draw rabbit ears. Oh, that's more like a funny dog here. Think that works? And they got this weird spiky hair. We need to get David Attenborough on this. We basically need to say, David, we need you to come in and observe the wildlife of Illyria and tell us all about their habits and their society. Oh crap, I forgot all about my coffee again. Yeah, the tongue hanging out. So for dogs, that's because they don't sweat, right? So they have to cool themselves through panting. Do rabbits cool themselves through panting? They don't stick their tongue out when they pant, but seeing as how this is kind of a fusion, because dogs do have sharp teeth in the front and they still hang their tongue out. Oh, dang, I didn't even notice in the one where they're fighting a bison, or they're eating a bison, there's a little baby bunny Canis rabbit. It looks far less like a puppy than I had drawn mine. Well, crap. I guess mine will be a little bit younger, a little more grown up. Well, shucks. Now that I see that. Yeah, it just, like, it doesn't even have the same length of body.
We don't listen to stories full of frustrated anger. We feed on laughter and the tenderness we hear around us when we're together.
Oh, that looks like some kind of bad hairdo. Yeah, no, I mean, that looks like it's just days old. Let's back up this hair and reapproach it from a different angle. So I just wanted to kind of... I don't want it to look like a mullet. The muscles that control the ears. And then there's just this hair. Ugh. Alright. Nope. So yeah, there's like muscle group, but they're all under the skin from here to here. So this whole thing is happening, and I can only see it. Let's try it that way. Yeah. think I'll have to just hint at it here in the painting. So on my pencil layer, I'm just going to sketch in the full muscle group. Both ones. See, that doesn't follow. That doesn't lead anywhere. What's going on here? Maybe that's just a mistake in the concept art. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely different in the 3D model from the concept. So what's really going on here? Upper shoulder, lower shoulder, like that. So it's got, this must be the, I think that's what's happening there. Don't need any of that. Horses do the same thing with their back legs. Like, there's a whole nother joint under the skin that never breaks the surface or separates from the body. Like, it's really weird. And I think probably actually a lot of animals have that kind of thing going on. The rabbits, obviously, they're just all leg, but I'm not great at drawing horses. I gotta brush up on their anatomy too. So, 4 fingers. There's always at least one that's like the most prominent. So you'll have this one toe. That sticks out a little bit more than the others. Oops. That is much smaller, and I also am in the wrong place for perspective, and there's so many things wrong. Okay. That's better. That's one of those things that I should have probably corrected in the pencil stage. That was an error left over from the thumbnail, was that one paw was just way out of place, and there was no reason, like there was no commensurate shift in the body to indicate that one paw would be placed forward. So we'll just move it back. And so from this perspective, we'll have our one prominent toe, and then everything will be behind that. Still much smaller than the other foot. What am I doing here? Alright, I think that's better. I always like hunch down to the bottom of my paper. I forget that I can just move it wherever I want. Old habits from drawing at a table without digital tools at hand. Okay, so let's take my nice little blue lines here and turn them into feet. Oh, let me take a look here. Yeah, see, that's the picture I was looking at, and like, that doesn't quite match what is represented in the concept art. Because, like, okay, so let me grab your image actually here, and I'll play with it. 1 second. Whoops. New. Actually, I can do this. Copy image. Cancel. Create new from clipboard. Here we go. So like, because it does look like, let me get a bit of different color here. So we got, and this looks like it actually is like a tricep. And this is a flap of skin stretching across that joint. which puts the actual shoulder up there at top. And this matches that as well. The shoulder is near the top. There's a connected joint and then a disconnected joint there. But if we look at we look at this guy here, we've got something going on here, down to something going on here, and then that. And this matches the expectation for a rabbit because their forelegs are tucked underneath the body to act both as, you know, manipulators and diggers, but also as front supports for the propulsion given by the back legs. And so they catch the ground and move the body forward, providing balance without actually like doing much work. Whereas with a dog, like we have over here with this kind of muscle, those shoulders are doing something. That puts like a shoulder blade up here, and so it's doing more than it's. I don't know. I think it's just a matter of concept art. Mm-hmm. Anyways. Oh, it's okay to be distracted. I mean, these are things that I, you know, exercises that I have to puzzle through anyway. It's always nice to have another perspective. It's one of the things that you learn early on as an artist, especially if you go to art school, because they teach it to you. But that the ability to take critique and you know, incorporate it into what you're doing without feeling criticized, which is a totally different thing entirely. Critique and criticism share a similar root, but ultimately you need to be open to other people saying, you know, that doesn't quite look right. Because you get a certain amount of blindness after you've been staring at a drawing for a while. That first toe is way too big. Where you start to fail, you fail to see some of the errors because either they're propped up on assumptions that you feel comfortable with, but that are at some level erroneous, or I don't remember what my or was. But either way, having another perspective is always of value in art because you instantly read your own visual language. Other people do not. Or at least not necessarily. Whoops. Okay, so we got some reasonably decent inks going here. Gosh, that hairdo looks so weird. We'll see. We'll see what we can do with it when we color. So we want a... Let's start with the darks and work our way up, because it seems like there's a pretty dark undercoat here. With a sandy brown on top of it. Yeah, I noticed that. I think part of the problem is because like rabbits don't have that extremely long forearm, whereas if you look on the model, well, either model, like that extra claw would be like right back here or here-ish. Wouldn't be very much use. Although I guess maybe it could come out down here. What is that claw used for anyway? Does it do anything? Since you seem to know a lot about rabbits. Or at least have Wikipedia open. I think my nose is in the wrong place. Is this... It really is. Now that I'm looking at this in the inks, I think there are problems with the structure of my skull. That's weird. Okay, all right. My cat doesn't even bother to clean her eyes. She just runs around with big boogers in her eyes until I clear them out. So maybe we can fix this just by scooching some things. No, man. So I've got this face going on here. Let's do this on the right layer. Let's bring that back up to the ear, up to the ear. Actually, think that's the part that seemed odd, is that lower jaw there was not in line with everything else. Yes. I think if I fix that lower jaw, it'll look much better. If I find the right layer. Huh. There's still something. I think it's the problem I'm having is reconciling the forward gaze of the Canis rabbit. It's so weird. So there's like these bulges in the skull to support the eyes. Let's see if I can get a skull out of this. Okay, so oh, excuse me. So yeah, there is. Get rid of this. So there is a large bit of bone structure to support these forward-looking eyes. And then zygomatic arch here. There's something like a kind of a crease in the back of the skull for leverage for the ears. Or the ear muscles, rather. So I feel like I must have had it. I just need to be Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. Yeah, I think the let's see what we can do about that neck. Let's see here. Get rid of this jawline here. And see, right now the neck is being defined by the hairline. It's kind of lost in the hairline. And with this, we can do that right there. No. All right, well, let's get some detail here in the ear. Since I think I'm going to run out of time before I can actually start coloring this, I've only got about 10 minutes left. So we'll try to get something that looks like complete-ish inks going. So that means I'm actually going to go ahead and try to map out these stripes across the back. So there's, they more or less stop at the shoulder in front here, but sweep slightly forward. Not actually that much space in between them. And then across the back they'd have to change direction. Alright. So I've got an idea about where the light parts of the fur are going to be. Since I was already doing that with the stripes, I figure I can just go ahead and map in where I expect those to be. And then I can hint at those a little bit with my black lines for this pencil version. And then when we get into the painting, I'll probably reshape that effort into something more like a painterly approach. So just use thin, broken lines to hint at stripes. And get a nice good shadow going here. Make this my reference layer so that way I can use my marker with just a little bit of anti-aliasing set not to exceed the line of my reference layer so that way I don't cross into what I've inked. Oh, I should pull up that box I drew earlier, since that's generally going to be where I find shadow. Oops. Alright, so that's where we're at for today. Not quite a baby Canis rabbit, but a... Oh yeah, you know, I used to change my title every time I started a stream, but, oh, hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Hello? Oh, hey, no problem. I'll see you later. Have fun. Okay. Yeah, just let me know when you're on your way back. All right, bye. Okay, so yeah, I think that'll be it for today. Yeah, Juvenile Canis Rabbit. But yeah, I used to change the title every time I brought up a new topic, but then I would forget, and it would be on all my videos from there on out. So I'll think about that. That's a good suggestion. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here. If you did enjoy your time here and you happen to have a few spare bits in your account, feel free to click the Donate Bits button up there in the corner and show me some love. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be streaming probably from around 10 a.m. Pacific until noon Pacific. So come give me a shout out, and I'll see you then. Bye.